Today I am celebrating Claudia Burnett, a woman who has touched me profoundly since meeting her. I will never forget the first time I saw her. It was at Zoo Studios in Lewis when her smile was radiating from the other side of the room. Uh, Seemingly so peaceful, so radiant, so enigmatic, and I absolutely had to make contact with her and to find out who she was and what was behind that absolutely beautiful smile, those twinkling eyes. And I was really moved by someone whose sense of personal responsibility was so apparent. I never heard the slightest blame from her about anybody or anything. It was someone who really, in their speech, did everything they could to recognize the innate beauty, even in those things that she may have found challenging, resisting judgment. And Claudia was someone who I was then lucky enough to get to live with for about a year and a half. And that was an absolutely beautiful experience in a house where there was a certain amount of conflict and certain personalities that really rubbed each other up the wrong way. Claudia seemed to be completely immune to all of those comings and goings and managing to remain everybody's ally and everybody's confidant. And not because she was playing some incredible game of manipulation, because we've seen from programs like Big Brother in the past that there are those people that have that canny knack about them. But that was not the case with Claudia at all. She just is a magnificently loving and present person. Now, that doesn't mean that she is love in practice at all moments. She is probably her greatest critic and is aware of those thoughts and feelings that arise in her that originate from things like blame. And is always the first person to kind of try and identify those and unpick those things for herself. So even though she would be the first to say that she is by no means perfect, she is an astounding person to know. Her ability to be present and to listen, her curiosity. It's not an ability where she forces herself to sit and listen to people. She's genuinely curious. She's sincerely wanting to understand more about the world, more about people, and more about herself. I've never met anyone who's so committed to her own personal development. Now, over the years, she must have listened to hours and hours and hours of positive thinking kind of material, the sort of thing that some people might dismiss as woo. And yet, one would have to know Claudia personally and to see how that's been put in practice into her life and see the things that have happened, the transformation that's happened in her life since delving into that material, to really appreciate how profoundly it's affected her. And, you know, it's interesting because even myself, as someone who's a hippie on the inside, may struggle with some of the things that she's interested in. Wouldn't be necessarily for my palate, and yet the smile that we could share with each other about that, and to be able to make fun of ourselves and each other and our differing interests, is just a beautiful thing. She's someone who I don't have to see for many years, many months, and in fact we've hardly seen each other over the last few years, but if we see each other, it's the same sense of direct speech, of sincerity and intimacy that we ever had. Now, she's known online as Crystal Angel and other things, and she's always had this association with hearts on her social media feeds in the past. There would be a heart every day for a long time, and this is the kind of way in which someone might dismiss Claudia as being like woo and away with the fairies, but she is anything but. She's one of the most grounded individuals I've ever known, and she has a knack for beauty, a knack for making herself beautiful, making her environment beautiful, making objects that are beautiful, and really being a presence of beauty in the world in all ways imaginable. Now, I said I wasn't sure about giving such a public honouring of Claudia, because I wasn't sure how it might land with her. But she herself in recent years has trained to become a celebrant, and I can't imagine anyone ever finding a better wedding celebrant. She is so loving, so beautiful. Like I would love to have her bless a marriage of mine. And so it's in this respect of celebrating other people that I feel that I almost wish for her to have to deal with someone celebrating her publicly. So please forgive me, Claudia, for sharing this and this opportunity to be able to celebrate what I see as the genius in you. If only all of us had so much integrity as to take responsibility for our lives, for the issues that we've had, and then to try to move forward through them rather than around them. I feel like I still have a lot to learn from her, from you, and I wish you nothing but the best. Love be with you, Claudia.